Hello guys, my name is Jackson Kinyanjui and welcome to my podcasts, which will be touching mostly on climate change and what are some of the adverse effects we're experiencing right now and how can it be explained. Let me take you back to what has been happening in the recent times. Just last week, the highest temperatures recorded on Earth were recorded in Death Valley, which is in USA, at 54.5 degrees centigrade. And these scientists have termed as the highest temperatures recorded on Earth, with the first recorded temperature being the highest also was in 1913. This comes barely after or during the Industrial Revolution. How do these high temperatures have an effect on Kenya, and especially on the lakes which are found in the Rift Valley? When temperatures rise, they lead to melting of ice. And in the melting of ice, I mean the ice which is found in the Greenland and in the Antarctica. All this ice, when they melt, they lead to increase in water levels, be it in the oceans, the seas, and this is what we're experiencing right now in Africa. In Kenya, scientists have categorized 2020 and 2021 as an El Nino year, and that is why we have seen unprecedented rainfall patterns, leading to flood levels, leading to increase in water levels, be it in the lakes, especially the lakes in Rift Valley. And if I may just take a while and give you a summary of what is happening in Rift Valley, we are having some of the 5 lakes which have been actually been hampered with the same effect, which is Lake Naivasha, which is the largest, followed by Lake Baringo, and then now we have Lake Nakuru, Lake Elementaita, and Lake Bogoria. Lake Naivasha and Lake Baringo, these are the 2 freshwater lakes that we have, supporting a variety of aquatic life, that is the flora and the fauna. And also it is dependent, most of the livelihoods and most of the people who are living around it, they depend on these 2 lakes for food. But the rise or the increase in water levels have led to these homesteads, which are or the households or the settlements which are living on the outskirts of these lakes, feeling the pinch, with recorded deaths, with recorded loss in property, with recorded diseases, outbreak of diseases, and all kinds of diseases. And one of the biggest fears that people have in Kenya, and most of the locals and scientists, is that the increasing water levels in Lake Baringo might end up maybe in 2030 or maybe in 2040 being contaminated by the increasing water levels in Lake Bogoria. Putting in mind that Lake Baringo is a freshwater lake and Lake Bogoria is a saline lake. So if the 2 meet, it will end up reducing or affecting the salinity in Lake Baringo, and this eventually will lead to the death of so many aquatic animals found in Lake Baringo. So what do we need to do as stakeholders or scientists or those who are concerned with this phenomenon? One of the things that we need to do is to take strict measures by doing research on these areas, trying to find which are some of these areas that can be affected by this water in the near coming future, so that people can actually be told to move to an area which is higher or safer from or will not be affected by the floods in the coming future. Secondly, we need to increase our afforestation and reforestation activities, putting in mind that several scientists have come up with the theme or with the fact that these rising water levels have been compounded by 1, climate change, 2, the land use changes, and 3, the tectonic and the geologic activities happening within the Rift Valley. So when I take you back to the land use changes, here I'm talking about which are these activities happening in the Mau Forest. The Mau Forest contains almost 12 to 15 rivers drain out of the catchment area, which is Mau Forest. So Mau Forest supplies almost 80 to 90% of the water that flows into these major lakes that we have in the Rift Valley. And when human encroachment comes into play and then we have these effects of deforestation and the rest, then obviously we'll be having surface runoff, we'll be having erosion leading to siltation that is covering all these lakes in the Rift Valley. So what we need to do, we need to demarcate our water catchment areas, we need to demarcate and protect our forested areas so that people who are actually encroaching these areas, they're evicted out, and reforestation and afforestation activities are done. So in short, climate change is real. We need to act, if not now, yesterday. And all I can say is that we need to put all our cards on the table. All stakeholders should be called on the table and come with a solution as soon as possible. Climate change is not going anywhere in the coming future. We either adapt to it or we suffer the consequences. And as Wangari Maathai famously said, it has reached a time whereby nature is more important than man. Nature does not need man. Man needs nature. And with that, thank you, and continue listening to my podcast. Thank you so much. Goodbye.